Questo podcast è offerto da Fujifilm, la fotografia al primo posto. Con una gamma completa di prodotti per tutti i livelli di esperienza, Fujifilm ti permette di esplorare la tua passione per la fotografia senza limiti. Scegli tra la serie X, il medio formato GFX o le divertenti Instax e lasciati trasportare dalla magia dell'immagine. Fujifilm, la tua storia in immagini. Stai ascoltando il podcast di Discorsi Fotografici.
Dal 2010 il primo podcast italiano di fotografia.
Novità, interviste, recensioni, cultura fotografica.
Discorsifotografici.it.
Yeast Photofestival, from planet to plate. Yeast Photofestival was born in 2021 with the aim of investigating and promoting a renewed relationship between man and environment through the language of photography and visual arts. The festival aims to be a place of cultural ferment and transformation, in which to propose multimedia works that tell the story of respect for the environment and human biodiversity. Since its first edition, Yeast Photofestival has identified the photographic medium as the meeting point between artistic innovation and culinary tradition, between local ecosystem and global landscape, to exorcise the fear of an apocalyptic climate future and indicate new possible positive scenarios. The festival searched the past and present for traces of a new world. Quoting the poet Franco Arminio, Yeast Photofestival is the festival of the future on the tables of the archaic. Food is Identity is the theme of the event that from year to year is declined on a specific suggestion. Edda Fahrenhorst is the artistic director of Yeast Photofestival and owner of agency Photogloria in Germany, and the curator of the environmental photography festival Horizonte Zingst in Germany. We had the pleasure to have her at our microphones.
Can you tell us about your personal journey in the world of photography? Have you ever considered becoming a photographer, or have you focused more on photography criticism?
So like so many people, my journey into photography began with my parents, but not because they gave me a camera like many photographers always tell. So my father was one of the most curious people in the world, a passion he shared with my mother. And they both had a great affinity for interesting things, art from all directions and all over the world. And so they opened one day a gallery in a small town somewhere in Germany, where my parents and my family lived. And they exhibited whatever they found interesting. And the gallery was a classic family business. So my brother and I always took part and worked together with my parents if we wanted to. So we served glass of wines during the openings, we helped hanging the exhibitions, but most of all what was interesting for me, we were allowed to visit all these artists in their ateliers and to talk with them, to collect their work out of their archives, to bring this into the gallery of my parents. So in this case, I wanted really to become an artist. I wanted to become a painter, to be honest. And my parents didn't like the idea, but they did what good parents are doing. So they paid a teacher who wants to teach me to become a painter. But I was untalented as hell. But then my parents exhibited the first photographer in their gallery. So I remember like it was yesterday. So his name was Ned Finkelstein. He was the photographer of Andy Warhol's factory years for some years. And I met him, he came to our house and I talked a lot with him. And so, yeah, photography, that's it. So this was what I've seen with his help. It made me clear that with photography, you can discover new worlds, observing them, satisfying my curiosity. I started learning photography in a small advertising studio in my hometown. And after this, I studied photography. So I went into the world of photography to become a photographer by myself. At the same time, I started a training as a writing editor in a small newspaper. So I had a glimpse into a journalistic world. After finalizing both trainings, so study and the training for a text editor, I realized that I didn't want to work in both jobs. So I had to find another one over years. After this, I started as a picture editor, a training as a picture editor in one of Germany's oldest picture agencies, Bilderberg, which unfortunately no longer exists. It's a pity. But in this agency, I became a picture editor and I learned a lot about which pictures will be published, which pictures will be bought. And I met a lot of photographers and I talked with them a lot. Days, nights, months, years. I started talking is like you, not with a podcast in my back, but yeah, I tried to understand the world of photography. After all these trainings and studying and everything, so I started an agency for corporate communication via photography with my good friend and colleague Mike in Germany. So this is what we are doing since then. And right from the beginning, I also slipped into the festival business in Germany. So come back to your question. So I never thought about to become a photo critic. No.
When it comes to food and photography, people often think of advertising photos or the classic social media shots showing what someone is about to eat. However, you have managed to organize 3 festivals on the relationship between food and photography. What are the main drivers of this 3rd edition? How will food be portrayed through photography?
So generally speaking, there's more to say about food than I ever thought via photography. So now we are in this 3rd edition. So we started with the 1st edition. It has a topic, food is identity. So then last year we had soul food and beyond. And this year we have the topic of from planet to plate. This year it's important to us to bring together very different positions in the festival, not only in the photography, but the exhibitions are very different, but also in the narrative approach. So yeah, this is what we are trying this year.
Could you give us an overview of the various efforts featured in the exhibition and the focus on those you consider the most representative?
So we have 16 photographers taking part in the exhibitions. We have 15 exhibitions, 16 photographers, and all of them are important on the same level for me, because for me, creating a festival or bunch of festival exhibition means for me to tell a story, one story with all these exhibitions together. So I can't say which one are the most representative, because as I said, everybody has the same importance to me as all the others. But I can go through if you want. So very short, very quick. So we start maybe with Kadir von Lohusen. He takes a very objective look. The large food exporters all over the world. We have photography, we have also some graphics, and we have movies from him just to show us how food will be produced. Yeah. Then we go over to Pablo Piovano. He comes to us from Argentina. He will be in Matino, Kadir too. So every photographer will be with us during the opening weekend. And Pablo is working since years on a very personal and maybe even you can say activist approach to a region in Argentina where people suffer from the agricultural poisons used to increase what their acres bring. So to increase the amount of corn and wheat and everything. So his photography is a black and white and it's very emotional. Saif Guzmati is coming from Morocco to us. He has a very artistic approach and he tells us a lot about the dying oasis in the region of Morocco, in the region of the desert. Henrike Stahl, she's in origin from Germany, but now she's living since years in France. And she has also an artistic approach. Saif and Henrike both work with the photography materials. For example, Henrike have bathed her material 3 days in wine just to find out what happens with the material. And she was working on a story on a vineyard. And this is a story we tell here in the festivals. And then we have a very young photographer, Nunke Bansma from Netherlands. And she takes us into a microcosm in her neighborhood where an old man lives who kills doves to have a scientific approach to weigh them and something and later to eat them. So it's a very weird story, but very interesting. So Sarah Boutin is coming from Canada to us. She will bring a very poetic photography about a monastery and her own grief about her grandmother. So Jean-Marc Caimi and Valentina Piccini are Italian photographers. And they worked in their work Tropicalia about the climate change on Sicily and the solutions people try to find for this. So this is also very interesting, and we show this in a Masseria L'Estancia here around the corner. You can say it's very interesting to show this work in a Masseria. Niccolo Lanfranchi is also an Italian photographer, was in a Brazilian jungle and brings us some photos from a community who is living autark. That's the word in English, autark? I don't know. Axel Javier Sulzbacher, he's from Germany. He tells us a lot about avocado and the avocado mafia in Mexico. It's a very heavy and very strong story. Also Carolina Arantes, she's coming from Brazil in origin and now lives in France too. She brings us work about the market of the cattle. Katerina Sisova is from the Czech Republic, and she brings us some weird artistic pictures about the recipes of her homeland. Alessia Rollo, also Italian photographer, brings herself into her work, and the work is very interesting. And she worked with the people from this region, and her work has the title "Don't Play with Food." So please come and explore. It's very nice. Florian Wemüller is also from Germany, and I think maybe it's the harshest work in the festival, maybe. But in fact, he confronts us really in a harsh way that people will be killed for us to have the meat on our plate. So Alexander Yegorov, he will come from Russia to us, is the winner of the Mia Irinox Food Award, which takes place in Milano in the Mia Art Fair. And he brings us a work about plates and long tables with friends and dinners with friends. And last but not least, we have the vernacular photography collection, which is funny and weird. So, and these are the 15 exhibitions. What I have to say also is that we welcome this year 4 guest curators. So I'm not the only one who curates the exhibition. So we invited 4 guest curators to work with us. They are Ines Fayette. She brought us Henrike Stahl. Lars Lindemann, he brought us Carolina Arantes. Together with Veronica Nicolardi, we curated the show from Sarah Boutin. And last but not least, Krzysztof Gandrowicz from Poland, where he brings us the vernacular photography collection. So I think this in total is a very interesting cosmos around this topic from planet to plate.
How did you select and curate the photographic works that best respond to the provocative questions posed by the festival, such as those about food awareness and its social and environmental implications? How do these works contribute to raising public awareness of such complex and interconnected issues?
Everything starts with some works I have on my desk. So I had the work from Kadir, I had the work from Axel Javier Sulzbacher, I had the work from Pablo Piovano, and this from these works. So it started to think about the topic from planet to plate. So how do we produce food? How do we consume food? And how is everything related to each other? Out of this idea, so I started to make a research and looking for other works which can be fit into this network of thinking. Yeah, this is also the reason why we invited these guest curators to enrich also this network of thinking. For me and for us, it's very important and interesting to create awareness into these kind of topics. Yeah, and in the result, we ask the people to react, to take over responsibility, and to think about what they are doing in their own lives and what they can do to change some things. So it's not easy to explain, but it's really a huge network of thinking, of discussions, of possibilities, of exhibitions and everything. And yeah, in the result, we see the upcoming festival.
Is photography enough to show how everything related to food contributes to the deterioration of our planet, to the drama, or is the word also necessary?
To be honest, anything that helps is necessary now. So it can be words, it can be music or dance or whatever. Art is also a strong thing, and photography for sure. So there are two different points of view. For me, it's important that everybody think about what can I do to create awareness for what's going on out there. What can I do to change something? My field is photography, our field, and the whole festival. So we are a whole team and a whole bunch of people. And we all believe that through photography, because this is our field, we can change something, hopefully. And for sure, photography is that medium of nowadays. A good picture immediately reaches the eye, the heart, the brain, the emotions. And this is the best way to communicate different things to people, even in every age, with every background. And this is what we are doing, or trying.
The last question. Has your personal approach to food changed after addressing these themes? Do you think it's truly possible for humanity to remedy food waste and excesses?
So yes, for me personally, absolutely. A lot of things changed, but I'm in this topic since many years. So not only about food, so about other environmental related topics. And I'm thinking a lot about all this stuff because of other works I'm doing. I changed a lot in my own behavior. I avoid salmon. I haven't eaten avocado since a long, long time. So therefore, I'm very happy for the story we have now in this festival, because that avocado are not the best food. They are very tasty. I love avocados, but they kill people in a way. No, this is not good. Avocados need a lot of water to grow and a lot of resources to bring them into our supermarkets. So this is a fact I know since years. Same as for almonds, for example. So I don't eat almonds whenever I can't. I rarely eat meat. I eat a lot of vegetables and something. But the most important thing for me is I have 2 boys, 2 kids. The most important thing is to discuss with them. So what are you eating? What are you thinking about what you are eating? What do you think about the climate? What can you do personally and everything? So one of my boys is vegetarian right now, pescatarian to be more precise. The other one wants to be a cook if he's a grown up. So it's very interesting journey. But I think for me, one of the greatest achievements was, as they have been around 4 years old, they decided not to eat longer these surprise eggs. They decided to avoid them because in the age of 4, they understand that this is too much plastic into the chocolate and they don't play with it. So since they are 4 years old, we don't have any surprise egg. This makes me proud for my boys. But yeah, this is the most important thing, to teach kids how to go into this topic. So this is also the reason why we have into this festival a huge treasure hunt for kids, which we create with an organization which is called Kids Love Photography. So because kids are our future and we have to teach them, we have to discuss with them, we have to deal for them. I think if it's possible for humanity remedy food waste and excesses. Yeah, we have to. So to be honest, we have to. Sure. I don't know if it happens, and if it happens, I don't know when. But we have to, and this is the most important thing everybody has to understand, I think. So we have to reduce our consumption, we have to reduce our excess, we have to absolutely reduce the waste. Otherwise, we don't have enough food for all the people living on this planet. So yeah, this is this planet. So here we are again with a topic of our festival, From Planet to Plate. So it's all huge network. Yeah.
Thank you, Edda. It's very moving that you live by your words. So this is had a lot, not only to the message of the festival, but to the authenticity of the festival as well. So everybody who comes to Yeast Festival this year, or in the last year and the next one, I hope we'll find an artistic director that really believes in what she does.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. And to everybody out there, please feel welcome to come with us and share your meal with us.